City University of Hong Kong is an international university which emphasizes the integration of research and teaching. The university promotes diversified, cross-cultural studies through various educational programs. To promote our educational vision, City University of Hong Kong produced a series called Beyond Boundaries, Dialogue with Presidents of World's Leading Educational Institutions. Professor Wei Guo, President of City University of Hong Kong, talks to presidents of universities and principals of high schools around the world, exploring each other's strengths and looking forward to the future direction of educational development. The Collège de France is the most prestigious and unique institution of higher education in France. It has some of the best professors in France and the world over in many fields and offers courses on cutting-edge research in the making. All its courses are open to the public with no registration required, no tuition fees, and no degree awarded. It follows its motto, Docet Omnia, and pursues the tenet of top-notch research and teaching. It has the highest status among all the institutions that undertake research and teaching in France, and its method of knowledge transfer is also unique in the world. The college was established in 1530 by King François I of France. The college was then named Collège Royal, later changed to Collège Impérial, and finally changed to Collège de France after 1870. The college has been affiliated with 10 Nobel laureates and 5 Fields Medal winners. Professor Serge Haroche, the Nobel laureate in physics in 2012, is the former president of the Collège de France and chairman and senior fellow of the Hong Kong Institute for Advanced Study at City University of Hong Kong. He won the Nobel Prize for his groundbreaking experimental methods that enable measuring and manipulation of individual quantum systems. Coincidentally, Professor Alain Aspect, another senior fellow of the Hong Kong Institute for Advanced Study at City University of Hong Kong, also won the Nobel Prize in Physics this year for his outstanding research on quantum entanglement. Professor Wei Guo, president of City University of Hong Kong, visited the two professors in France in March 2022. Today, we are honored to invite Professor Serge Haroche, former president of the Collège de France, to introduce this unique college and share his research insight as a Nobel laureate. At the same time, we will introduce Professor Alain Aspect, who is also a Nobel laureate. Professor Wei Guo, president of City University of Hong Kong, is well known for his research on the reliability of electronic systems and nuclear energy. In his early years, he worked at Bell Laboratories in the United States, who held the position of department head and dean of the School of Engineering in an American university, and was conferred academicians in various countries. Professor Wei Guo has served as the president of City U for more than 10 years. His philosophy of education is summarized in the lyrics of the City U anthem, which he wrote, "Learn and question beyond boundaries." Professor Wei Guo has also published several books about education. He is particularly concerned about the challenges facing contemporary education around the world.
各位朋友，本期节目特别有意义，我们介绍两位香港城市大学香港高等研究院的资深院士，他们也是两位在量子力学上有突出表现的诺贝尔奖得主。阿罗什教授是法国顶尖的学者，在科学、人文和人类文明范畴都有杰出的表现。他因为发明测量和控制单个量子体系的突破性方法，获颁2012年诺贝尔物理学奖。另一位学者就是阿斯佩教授，他获得了2022年诺贝尔物理奖。他认为量子力学这门学科是惊人地违反直觉。阿斯佩教授最为人熟知的实验是在1982年证实成对光子的量子纠缠现象。他的实验表明，在成对纠缠系统中观察到的量子有所关联。阿斯佩教授对纠缠现象曾经做出如下的解释：设想有一对双胞胎分别生活在距离数千英里之遥的两地，两人眼睛的颜色处于蓝褐之间，直到你见到的一刻才可以确定颜色。假如你见到其中一人，确定其眼睛为蓝色，那么尚待确认的另一人的眼睛立刻就会变成蓝色。阿斯佩教授指出，这就是发生在光子的现象。科学的术语是量子的非局域性，意思是说，对一个纠缠光子，无论作何处置，都将立即影响到可能在数十亿光年之外与之成对的另一个光子。他的研究成果对于解决著名的爱因斯坦与波尔之间的争议有重大贡献，而这些争议至今仍然被认为是科学哲学的思想巅峰之一。Ladies and gentlemen, we are most honored to invite Professor Serge Haroche to the program to talk about College de France and higher education in France and elsewhere. He's going to mention the history of College de France. I understand in the early stage, College de France professors were supposed to teach Hebrew, Greek, and mathematics. In recent years, they are teaching their research in their making to the community outside the College de France. Most of the professors in College de France are in science, but they are authors and playwrights in College de France. That has impact to the not only just France, but the whole world. Can you tell us a little bit more about Collège de France, the origin, how they recruit their professors, their contribution to society, funding, and their future?
So, as you mentioned, the Collège de France was created in the 16th century by the King Francis I. It was a time of the Renaissance where science was blooming again, the humanities were being developed, and there was a remembrance of the great area of antiquity. And Francis I had been fighting in Italy, and he was very fond of this new culture, new developments. He was a friend of Leonardo da Vinci that he brought back to France. And one of his advisors, Guillaume Budet, advised him to create an institution where the new fields, new domains which were not taught by the traditional universities could be taught. As you mentioned, there was ancient languages, Greek, Hebrew, the new mathematics, also medicine, which was very much developed in the Arab world, but which was also something that was interesting to develop. So he created what was at that time was called the Collège Royal, the Royal College, and he appointed lecturers. There was, of course, a cultural dimension to that, but there was also a political dimension because the king wanted to control this much better than he could control the Sorbonne, the university, which was controlled by the church, by the bishops, and by the Pope. And there was a rivalry between the Pope and the king at that time. So he wanted to have an institution that he could control. And historically, the Collège de France has remained under, quote unquote, the protection of the head of state in France. So it's no longer the Royal College, but when the Republic came, it became the Collège de France. And the professors are still, they are appointed by the faculty, but they are not named by decree by the President of the Republic. So it's still, and the college is funded by public money. All the money, the salaries for the professors, for the administration, everything, most of the financing comes from the government. So it's a unique institution because the professors who are appointed at the Collège de France have only one duty, which is to deliver lectures, lectures in which they have to try to convey the feeling of research being done. And you ask me how the professors were appointed. In fact, the faculty, we have about 50 professors, and the faculty is free to appoint whoever they want to. So the appointment is made by the professors themselves, and after they have decided, of course, it is approved by the government. And the process is quite paradoxical because, of course, since you have only 50 professors, there are only a few professors who are experts in the field where an appointment is made. For instance, when there is an appointment in physics, there are 3 or 4 professors who know about the possible candidate, but the 50 others don't know anything. And so the majority of the people who would vote don't know. So the whole system is based on excellence and trust.
Well, I'm sure this is a one of a kind. It contributes not only to the academic community, but also to the society at large. You have brought in the most up-to-date knowledge by the expert to let people know, what should be, as you mentioned, not only the science, but humanity and social science, medicine, all of them. In the last 10 years or so, there was a trend in France to form universities by combining a number of really well-known universities already. Well, the good example are say, PSL, the Paris Science and Letters. Another one is Institut Polytechnic. They all have consolidated, actually quite a number already very well-known institute professors. And College de France certainly is a part of PSL. And how you see this, the merger or amalgamations that can contribute to the higher education in France?
In France, the system has been based, starting from the time of the French Revolution, the Napoleonic era, on the system of what we know the grandes écoles, high schools. Grandes écoles, translation is great schools. So the grandes écoles are institutions which take students after a very difficult contest examination, where they are ranked and we take the best of them. In fact, again, there are some connections with China, because it is said that in fact, this tradition of having this kind of national contest examination is similar to the Mandarin system in China, where the same kind of examination is made to appoint civil servant to the imperial court back in the 17th or 18th century. In fact, Jesuits priests who were traveling in China came back to France, and they said this is a good way to select people because it's fair. Everyone starts at the same level, and we get the best one when we do this kind of examination. So this was taken by the French, the spirit of the French Revolution, and the grandes écoles were created, like École Polytechnique, École Normale Supérieure, and other schools. And they became kind of elite institutions which trained engineers, professors, scientists, and so on. And the universities developed in parallel on the side, and the universities appointed students in a more relaxed way with less examination, and so that there have been kind of two lines, one elite with the grandes écoles, and one which was supposed to be easier, which was the other system. But it had some good and some bad effects, and one of the bad effects was that the students from Polytechnique and other great institutions like that were more naturally going toward administration, toward high positions in the civil service, towards finance and business, and they were diverted, for example, from research and from activities which are taken by universities. So the brightest minds did not go into research, and this was something which is, nowadays is not very good. Another drawback also is that the grandes écoles, and this system is not very transparent to foreign people. And students coming from China or India or other countries don't know exactly what it means, and they will go preferably in places where the system is closer to the one they have in their own country, which is in fact imitated what was going on in UK, United States. So the French were handicapped by the fact that the system was not so transparent. So the idea now to make kind of gathering of universities and grandes écoles to create something which looks more like an American or Chinese campus is an idea to try to make a system which is more transparent, in which there are more flexibility, there are more ways to hire students, to accept students, than the formal and very rigid process of grandes écoles. And this is what you described.
You work with a lot of senior professors, postdocs, students, and you yourself is Nobel Prize winner in 2012, right? And when you were a student, you work with Professor Tianjin, who is Nobel Prize winner. So there was a Chinese saying. In Chinese, it says 名师出高徒. In English, it means famous teacher make master apprentices. I'm wondering you can share with us some wisdom about the great minds that gather together, and how to attract great minds to work together.
No, I think what you say is a very important aspect of doing research and more generally to be in the academic world. It's what you want to do is to acquire new knowledge. You are driven by curiosity of the world around you, and for that you need to have people around you. You need the transmission of knowledge is very important. So scientists must receive the knowledge from the people who came before him and from his master, and he has to transmit it to the younger generation. And I think that this duty of transmission, especially in troubled times like the time we are living now, is very, very important. And you are right, I was in a school at École Normale Supérieure. My thesis advisor, Claude Cohen-Tanouji, is a really great scientist, but also a great transmitter of knowledge. He teaches in a fantastic way. He gave me the enthusiasm for the kind of research I'm doing, and he himself got this from his own master, Alfred Kastler, who also was a Nobel Prize. So there is a kind of tradition, and it is not unique to École Normale. In my field, which is atomic physics, a great school was a school of Isidore Rabi, who was a professor at Columbia University between the two wars of the last century, and he trained maybe 10 or 12 Nobel Prize winners, American Nobel Prize winners in all kinds of, in physics and all kinds of physics domain. And I was privileged to meet Rabi first and many of them. And another thing which is important, and you mentioned too, is the fact that I have had the privilege to collaborate with scientists all over the world. You mentioned Brazil, United States, of course, Italy, many places in Europe. And I think it's really a privilege of our life as scientists to be able to interact with people who have been raised in different cultures, with different system of education, but who all share the same passion for knowledge, the same passion for curiosity, who all share the same past, the heritage, and who share the same values. And the values go beyond science. The values and the connection with humanity, I think, is very important, because science is driven by the curiosity of the world, and art is driven by the wonder of the beauty of the world around us. And the wonder and curiosity are two sides of the same coin, in my view. And
ladies and gentlemen, I hope today's conversation with the great Nobel Prize winner and the former director of Cartes de France help you to understand the current trend and what great minds should be and is going to be. And we all understand that the ultimate purpose for university and college is not only to give you a degree, but we want you to do something can further enhance the quality of the society we live, to make people in the world, those surrounding us, can live better generation after generation. We thank you again for coming to this session.